Check 1, 2. I just want to find out how long it takes for them to die from dehydration, actually. Kind of curious, because thinking about the fact that it takes worshippers 36 hours, no, 96 hours to unlock a shrine if they're sleep deprived. Would they actually just die of dehydration eventually? Probably. Yes. 72 hours. 72 hours? What? Okay, so they die of dehydration in the same amount of time that it takes them to become sleep deprived. If they go 72 hours without sleep, 72 hours straight, they become sleep deprived. But of course, usually they're drinking in that time. But yes, if you tried to have 3 sleep deprived worshippers, or even possibly 2, tried to use sleep-deprived worshippers to unlock a shrine, they would actually just die of thirst before they ever actually managed to unlock it, which makes sense. I mean, if you were worshipping for 3 days straight without drinking anything, I'm pretty sure you would die too. Just an interesting thing. I mean, I'm okay with it. I just wanted to know. God damn it. Yeah, I have to... Okay, we have to debug the bears. That's what we need to do now. And then I can move on to the actually kind of fun stuff. The fun/easy stuff. But really, we gotta fix this bug. That is our top priority for sure. Yeah. So Jonas did a little play test for me, and he had one weird issue with his worshippers trying to unlock a miracle shrine. But I mean, who knows what was going on? I'm pretty sure they were all sleep deprived by this point. But he was like trying to unlock a miracle shrine, and he made a bunch of worshippers, and it was like only 2 out of 3 worshippers. They made even more worshippers, and then eventually, like, it actually worked. But I don't know why they didn't all just immediately start worshipping. Which is very much what you would expect. So he probably did something like this. He probably activated a miracle shrine, and then he was like, oh, I need worshippers. Let me put them next to it. But until there's actually 3 of them, they can't do anything, so they're leaving again. And then I make 3, and now it's like... Oh, there we go. Yeah, he was probably just confused because they would like wander off again until there's actually 3 of them available. They're not going to do it, so... It is all a bit confusing. Yeah, I mean, we definitely really need a tutorial. What do you mean ads starting soon? I only just started the stream. Well, here we go into the ads. You know, we really need a tutorial, but that's not going to be in for a while still. Okay, the barcode. I just want to set up some like debug stuff first. Why on earth is there a pack waypoint thing in the barcode? The bears do not live in packs. And then we need to set the season. I think it might actually be in the lighting object. So we set it to summertime by default because I'm pretty sure it's the summer specific code. The bear is like running different code in the summertime and I don't think it works. To be honest with you, I don't think it works. Well, it's... what the fuck is that? What's going on? Wait a minute, what? Okay, this might explain a thing or two. What is happening right now? What is that? Squeeze me? What's going on here? That's... it's not coming from a human because the humans don't have anything set up like that to draw a line to anything. So that is coming from a bear, apparently. Highly unusual. I had a feeling it was something to do with the nearest threat tracker. But this is not what I expected. It was not tracking anything. Most of them seem to be working okay. But, the weird thing is, actually all 4 bears seem to be tracking nearest threat no problem. But then we just have this random extra one going from a human to the top left corner of the map. Okay, it's not doing it this time. All 4 bears are tracking the nearest human. And then there's this. What the hell is going on? And let's try it. If it's not summertime, does this still happen? Probably not. What exactly? What should I say? Exactically. Exactically. There it is. Exactically. What exactically is going on here? It doesn't happen. So, as I suspected, it's something to do with the summertime code. What exactly is going on here? So one of them is checking 00 instead of like their own position or something like that. Well, I don't know if it's just one of them. I don't know what's going on. Which would of course cause them to like, well, they're not accurately tracking the nearest threat. So there could be a threat standing right next to them, but they're kind of tracking from the wrong coordinates. So they're not aware of it. What is it called? I thought it was called Bear Map. Bears, global bears. Let's just see how many bears are actually on the bears map. Probably 4. I had to guess, I would say there are the correct number of bears on the bears map, and that it's not this, but it's worth checking. If there was a bear on the bears map that didn't exist, I think we've had something similar before where it like defaults to coordinate 0, 0. Or would it just give me an error because the instance doesn't exist? I don't know. I don't know. There are 4 bears on the bear map. Okay. Confirmed. Half-Life bear confirmed. Oh yeah, but the weird thing is that it wasn't just targeting other bears. it was actually targeting a human. Hmm. Okay. And should we be including that on nearest threats? Possibly. Possibly. Nearby threats, sorry. Nearby threats. I mean, the fact that this only happens during summertime leads me to believe it is in this code block, and this other stuff is fine. But this is only the really confusing part about this is that this is only used for targeting bears, and yet it was somehow targeting a human. So what does that mean? I don't know where this is coming from, because all 4 bears actually have a nearest threat, and then there's this random extra one, like, in the top left corner of the map. What does it mean? Okay. Mm, maybe I need like the exact same conditions. Right, what if I do like actually that one's supposed to be in there. Like that. So if it's summer and this bear is male and they're an adult and the receptive bears list is not empty and they have above half, they have 50% health or more, and these are all undefined, then do this, else do this, else if these are undefined, do this. Do you think that makes any difference? I'm not entirely sure, like, why it would, but I think there's a possibility it could. Oh, it's still there. What the fuck? What even is that? What is that? I think this change might be good, is it? I don't know. Didn't fix it though. Oh, okay, this is problematic because that's in the same if statement. Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Okay, you gotta move these inside here. Still happening. Well, it is. This is correct now, I believe, but still bugged. This part is only used for targeting bears. I'm wondering how, because they're targeting a human, which is this part. How is it that this part is sort of changing during the summertime? It works normally any other time, but when the sort of summertime specific code is activated, then this part gets janked up. Which is why I thought it might have been this, but it's not. Don't even want to think about what could happen after summer. That's not... I mean, all I really need to do for that is... set bear check combat to undefined inside of here. That would actually work. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be an issue anyway. Well, just thinking, would it be an issue when you restart the thing again? That would be the issue, right? You wouldn't be able to restart the tracker again, like next summer, basically, because it wouldn't be undefined, and then you wouldn't be able to do this. But it still does not explain what is going on. Couldn't you just build it into this? Actually. Maybe would that solve the problem? Maybe. So, let's try it, I guess. Let me... Perhaps I would still need this part to be like this, actually. And then the idea would be to build this into the predator check. Oh, no. I mean, yeah, bear check just isn't a thing anymore. No. Okay, I get it. I get it. Okay, like this. And then this one. I think that bracket is like there. And then this is or. If it's not a bear, or if it's summer, this bear is male. This needs to be other now, though. So other. So now it's like this object is not a fox. It's not a bear. Or it's summer, and the calling instance, the calling bear is male, adult. This list is not empty, and it has 50% HP or more. And the rest of this stuff. I think that works. I think that makes sense, right? And then instead of having to do all this BS, we could just have the normal one, which is a lot better than this. Like, I mean, this is a much better way of doing things, so I should do this anyway, regardless of whether it fixes the bug or not. It would be nice if it did, though. Assuming this actually works. I think it does, right? We also wouldn't need a bear map anymore. We're always checking the predators, and we ignore the bears. Unless it's summertime. But there are some additional conditions, my bad. It's the same, it's kind of the same. It's like if it's not yourself, if it's male, if it has HP greater than or above, greater than or equal to 50%. And I guess we can do the same to get it on the nearby threats tracker as well. Probably best to first just check that stuff. And take that and put that there. Two birds with one stone, that's nice, because we weren't even adding them to the nearby threats thing. The HP thing might be irrelevant, I don't know. We're gonna do the threat. Yeah. It still uses the attacking state, so they would. The HP thing might be irrelevant. We'll leave it there for now. Well, no, it's true. Oh, I went through the same thing with the foxes. Actually, it prevents them from killing each other in a perfect stalemate, because they could essentially hit each other for exactly the same amount of damage, and just if they were somehow dealt exactly the same damage to one another, they could both bring each other to 0 HP. So this just gets them to stop fighting below 50% health. Okay, and then we don't do any of this bullshit. We just do this bullshit. Slightly less bullshit, though. I'd be really happy if this fixed the bug. Not that I ever actually solved the bug or like understood what the bug was, but I'd still be happy if this worked, because it's not only would it fix the bug, but it would also be just much cleaner code and more efficient way of doing things. Which is, I probably should have done it this way in the first place, I just couldn't see that at the time. Or maybe there's a reason. Is there a reason? Holy shit, dude, it fixed it. You gotta be kidding me, we did it. We did it. Yes. Yes, the bug is fixed. Wait, oh my god, I got scared. It's fixed. Okay. Woo! Alright. Alrighty then. Very, very pleased about that. And it appears to be, well, we don't actually know that it works for all of its intended purposes, but it's getting pretty hot in here. Seems to get hotter in the evening somehow. Okay, okay. Alright, now we can finally play the game. And by that, I mean do the other stuff. Because we fixed the bug, we hope. It should be good. It should be good. Should be good. It's like they're running the normal predators tracker, and then if it's summertime, they will also track other male bears. As long as they need to, or are supposed to. It's perfect. Cool. So got some easy stuff here, we got some harder stuff. I should probably do the hardest stuff first while I still have more energy, right? To think. we want to prevent combat interrupt / fleeing whilst divine protection is active. It's actually piss easy. That's actually really easy. So I don't know what I'm saying. Give me that step event. Head on down. So then it would simply be a case of adding a singular check. And it would just belong right alongside the invisibility. Maybe even before that. Wait, do we? There's got to be a flag when they have divine protection, right? Of course there is. What is it called? Is it called divine protection by any chance? Because that would make a lot of sense. It is. It is. And it comes before invisibility, which only has a single equals for some reason here. I'll keep it in the same order. Okay. This is very exciting. Yeah, it's so like, I just cannot be trusted anymore. It's so funny to me, like, when other people playtest the game and they just have no idea what to do and nothing makes any sense. And I'm like, come on, isn't it just intuitive? Says the guy who's played 1,000 hours of the game. Oh, and literally built it. It's impossible for me to not know what it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, how to play it and everything about it. Although I do forget a lot of stuff. Whoa, it's telling me to rename my variables. I don't care. I don't care, GameMaker. Excuse me. Why is the inside missing? It equals now. My god, this is some ancient code from a lost civilization. The seasoning on the primordial soup. Yes, it does make me a little bit concerned about the upcoming playtests. Because there's a high likelihood that nobody's going to understand how to play the game. And they're going to have a pretty bad time. But, you know, I can't... It's you know, it's like an alpha test, right? It's an alpha. It's like a very early prototype. It's not like going to be anywhere close to what the final game will be like, which will have an actual tutorial that takes you through everything or most stuff, right? So now they can't be combat interrupted if they have divine protection, basically, which is actually not good. Whoops. Okay. Because, you know, you might cast divine protection on a hunter, for example, who is about to come under attack, and you want them to attack, but now they would just ignore the thing attacking them. So I think basically I just want to remove it for hunters and guards. classes that can attack. Is that right? Could be. I would assume so, yes. So, even if a hunter or a guard has divine protection, they'll still, like, react to stuff. Whereas anyone else who's, like, you know, a worshipper unlocking a shrine or something, they will just kind of ignore what's attacking them and continue doing what they're doing because they have invincibility, essentially. I think it's a good way to go. And we still want to prevent them from fleeing also, I think. Because, well, do we? If they're already in the idle state and you give them divine protection, right? And then something is going to attack them. Do we want them just to not flee because they have divine protection and they know there's no danger for them currently? Or do we want them to flee anyway? I think we probably don't want them to flee. Probably. Because it could be that they were about to perform an action, right? And then they would start fleeing and then they wouldn't do what they would have done. Right. We're talking about quite an edge case there. It's quite a rare scenario, but it does like the wolves are gonna attack the camp or something, and there's somebody there who's about to perform some important action. I mean, the thing also would be like, oh, you're about to activate a portal, not a portal, you're about to activate a shrine that you want your worshippers to unlock. And so you hit them with this divine protection. I don't know why you would do that necessarily, but you might. And then the wolves are attacking the camp, but they just ignore them. They don't run away, and then they carry on. They start heading to unlock the shrine because they're not fleeing, right? Whereas if they were fleeing, they'd be like stuck in that state essentially until they'd fled far enough away or whatever. Oh man, it's a tough one. I'm gonna say we probably just don't flee. They probably just shouldn't flee. We don't need to worry about it for the hunters because they will just attack instead of fleeing as a matter of state prioritization. Oh, it's like there's a full thing that encapsulates all of them. Interesting. So we just add it there. Same as invisibility. Sure. If divine protection is false, then you can flee. Else you won't do that. Alright, easy enough. And that's it. Now they will not flee when they have divine protection, nor will they react to nearby threats. They'll just continue doing what they're doing, which could be quite useful, I imagine. And we're about to hit some ads here. Doing a little dance, I don't even know what I'm dancing to. Alright, okay. Cross that one off the list. Increase the amount of time required to remove sleep deprivation to 24 hours. You got it, boss. We've got trouble, boss. One of your rides is about to break down, but don't worry, a mechanic is on the way to fix it. Why am I in the drawer vent? That's not what I want. Sleep deprivation. Required sleep 240. A full day. Full 24 hours of sleep is required to remove the debuff. Maybe look at my patch notes because humans become sleep deprived after being awake for 72 hours straight. Why am I mentioning humans when this is the human section, which that makes sense. It reads better. Humans will no longer be sleep deprived after getting 24 hours of sleep. Yeah. Reduce the chance of fire spreading to humans. Yeah, I've been thinking about it for a while, and I'm pretty sure probably something we want to do, because it's a little bit extreme right now. So we have like a fire spread function somewhere, but I don't know where, so I'm going to go this way. Or maybe a 1 in 60,000 chance instead of a 1 in 50,000 chance. It's quite a big difference, though. Be a 1 in 55,000 chance. I don't know, they've been setting on fire a lot. So I just don't want to go so high that it like never happens, you know, but we'll probably be alright. And See, I didn't think the tents were catching fire very much at all, to be honest with you. But maybe we should reduce that a bit as well. Maybe a 1 in 30,000 chance, exactly double the chance of the humans. That would be 29,999. Right. It's a tough one. I don't want it to be happening too often, but at the same time, it rarely seemed to happen. But that is also because during my playthroughs, I never build my tents near the campfire. Other people are probably not going to do that. And the plants, I've got it so the plants are less flammable than the tents currently. Which I imagine they are because they're alive. They're still living plants versus the tents, which are like very dry, very flammable. Right in between the two would be 45. Maybe we could do that. Maybe we could do 1 in 45,000 chance. $444,999. Yeah, I guess we can do that. And then I wanted to increase the chance of the fishers drowning whilst fishing. Because they actually, in the grand scheme of things, spend relatively little time actually fishing, so it doesn't seem to happen very often. That is actually in the fishing state itself. We don't have a function for it, although we probably should. And we just change this to... So it's 29, 20, so 1 in 30,000 chance right now, which is like the lowest. Maybe it should be a 1 in 20,000 chance, so 19,999. They're going to drown a lot more often. I think that would be good. You know, I've been getting a little bit of a craving to play some Quake, to do some Quake speedrunning again. I wonder if it's something I might do when I finish the game. Or even just as a way of taking a bit of time off from the game. It's just, if I really want to go for a new PB, that's probably going to be quite a grind. To like de-rust and everything, get back into it. But I would, at some point, I think, like to go for a PB in Quake again. Easy run PB. There's just so many, I mean, there's so many new strats I could be using. That I mean, it's obviously extremely difficult just because of how difficult speedrunning Quake is, but there's so much time to be saved that theoretically should be able to PB fairly easily. Alright, there we go. The fishes have a much greater chance of drowning now. Yeah, I think some more sort of on-screen indicators might help. Just to tell you like what's oh, maybe let me just have a look at something. Well, possibly. Let's just have a quick look at something here. Combat interrupt. Combat. See, they don't. They don't. Well, they're going to return to idle. Is it built into idle? No. Okay, that explains it. I would say that explains it. I think we might as well put it on combat interrupt, but we want to reset their stealth when they get combat interrupted, basically. Yeah. Fascinating. So that's what was happening, is like the wolves would be hunting, so they're in stealth, and then they attack one of the tents, but their stealth never gets reset to 0. And the guards couldn't see them, and that's why the guards didn't react. Oh, that's brilliant. I'm so glad that's fixed. Okay. Dude, this build is gonna be fire. Like, it's absolutely insane how good this build is gonna be. I better check for the humans as well, actually. Now, the hunters are the only ones that can stealth, so those are the only ones we need to worry about, but we should check that something similar isn't happening, whether the humans could be, like, still in... What am I looking at? Still in combat. Still stealth whilst in combat. See, the humans have that, where stealth is always reset in the idle state. If that's how the humans do it, I feel like that's how they should all do it, really. But... do they return to idle? I don't think they do, right? Oh, they do. Isn't that kind of problematic then? Because they're going to be stealthing in the hunting state, then return to idle and leave stealth, and then re-stealth when they go into the stalking state, and potentially just spook all the creatures. I think the correct way to do it is not to be setting stealth to 0 in the idle state. But okay, we do. Interrupts should probably set stealth to 0. Put it there, even though that's like never gonna happen. The fuck is this bracket doing over here? Stealth 0 here. Yeah, we don't want them to. See, they would even be leaving stealth there. But animals are not spooked by humans in the idle state. Oh, I get it. Right. Hold on. No, animals are only spooked by humans who are in the hunting states. So even if they're not stealthed in the idle state, like, nobody's actually going to react to them. I see. Now, it would make a difference here because right, the humans could like sneak past a bunch of wolves whilst in stealth, right? And then return to the idle state because they reached the waypoint and they're waiting for everyone else to reach the waypoint. And then they've left stealth, they become visible again. And that could pull the wolves. Although gotta figure out how it should actually be structured. I think probably I do want to remove the stealth 0 from idle and put it where it's supposed to be, basically. Basically every state should have stealth 0, unless it's a state where they're stealthing. And I think they do. Just need to be sure of that. Looks like they do. Okay. What is this? Extinguish fires. These guys are not going to be in stealth anyway, really, are they? Also, they can potentially come away from this not doing anything. So, probably supposed to set that stuff in here. Otherwise, we could have just set their movement speed for no reason. It is the one weird exception to the rule. The others are okay. Fuck. we want them to inherit like the wolves do? Probably, right? They're supposed to. Yeah, we might as well. Alright, that checks out. Okay, so we're removing stealth from here. So they're not just being set to 0 whenever they're in the idle state. These guys do go directly into the next state. Almost make more sense for the humans to do the same. It would be a lot less of a headache to deal with. That way I could just know that we always set stealth back to 0 whenever they're returning to idle. And oh boy, is there some reason I shouldn't do this? They seem to have changed how the animals work, but the humans still do not work that way. You know, it's possible, that would make sense too. Instead of returning to idle here, we could put a little, like, wandering behavior built into this state. That would make more sense, I think. Yeah, I think we're doing it. Gonna have to set old state though, I guess, and run pathing. I don't have to. I can let the target relocation function take over, but I don't think I want to do that. Also, we... Oh, that's that. Oh, that's okay. How do we... Maybe that's built into the thing that spawns the group waypoint. Uh-huh, yeah. So we don't need to worry about the hunters doing that. Cool. Should be alright, I guess. I don't even really understand how it works right now. Like, it's been working, but it's very odd. I can't think of an example of where we run the pathing stuff. Yeah, it's literally just those two. Right. So they're gonna reach path position, arrive, add themselves to the arrived hunters list, destroy the existing waypoint, spawn a new waypoint, and we don't even really need to do these ones. Target it and then path to it, so they're just going to wander around a little bit, sort of within 10 units of the group waypoint. Until eventually the what do you call it? The obelisk will spawn once they've all arrived. Once they're all on this list, the obelisk will spawn a new group waypoint, and they'll start heading over to that one. The only no, there is a problem there, isn't there? I see the problem. Hmm. That's not an issue, because if they did choose to enter any other state besides from stalking their prey, they would have their stealth reset to 0. Because we don't want to reset it here. Here is fine, they're coming out of stealth to harvest. Although I'm still not sure if we should really even do that. It's like they remain in stealth, really, until they pick a new state. Right? So maybe we don't even really need to set stealth to 0, but it was causing that issue with the animals. But is that... So, okay, maybe I see the problem here. Let's have a look at the wolf conditions. And... state. Attack. Oh, that's what it is. Oh no, it's there, stealth 0. Oh, if it's there, then what the hell was happening? Okay, I don't know then. I don't know, actually. Yeah, no, I think I was mistaken. I don't know if that bug is actually fixed. Yeah, because they should come out of stealth when they're entering the attacking state. Unless it's not there for attacking tents, possibly. That could be what it is. We're gonna check. Basically need to go through and check all of them. These guys don't even have stealth. Why am I worrying about that? Okay. Because they have a separate one for attacking tents, right? Yep, stealth 0, it's there. Okay, I can't really explain it then. Maybe the guards were just out of range. It seems unlikely, but maybe they were. Okay. Yeah, that was a bit of an exercise in futility, wasn't it? Don't think I really achieved anything there. And... well, what I've done is I've removed the stealth 0 from idle for the humans. So their stealth will only be set when entering a state, basically. So if they were hunting and they were stealthed, and then they get in range of a prey animal, and they return to idle to start stalking it, they're still going to be stealthed because it doesn't reset in idle. But then again, it didn't really matter because the animal wouldn't be spooked by them if they were in idle anyway, because they only get spooked by humans that are in hunting states. So yeah, it's still, even if that's true, it's, well, it just doesn't seem necessary to set stealth to 0 in the idle state. I'm gonna need to test it, but I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I'm gonna make a note about it because it's something. If I break something and then I'm like, what did I do? I forgot what I did, right? prioritize letting sleep-deprived humans over non-sleep-deprived humans sheltering from the rain. So we need to basically track like a list of sleep-deprived humans in this case. We don't have them on any kind of list right now. I'm aware that I could really use some lighting for the stream because I'm like changing colors right now. Okay. Hey, Fizzy Busy, how's it going? Indeed, it's been a minute. What's new? Ah, okay. Makes sense. Okay, okay. A bit of copyright infringement there, maybe. Okay, we're gonna get them on the list. That's the easy part. But then we've got to remove them from the list if they're sleeping, but make sure they get back on the list if they're still sleep deprived. Sleep inside. That's the particles, right. State. Sleep. Guess we can do this by checking when they enter the asleep state or sleep. Oh, why didn't I call it the sleeping state? I don't know. They're on that list when they enter the asleep state. Let me just copy that. Then we remove them from that list again. But if they wake up for some reason before they have fully removed their sleep deprivation debuff, we need them to go back on that list. The only thing that can really wake them up, well, if the tent's set on fire, that would do it for one. If the player chose to wake them up, that's about it, really. Or if the tent was destroyed in a windstorm. So if they are on this list, then DS list, delete. Okay. Ooh, could be time for a drink. I'll be right back. Okay. So we're going to remove them from that list. They can only be on that list if they are sleep deprived, so there's no need for any additional check. And then we're in the sleeping state. And okay, they can be woken up by the tent setting on fire, for example. Otherwise, sleep multiplier is 1. Yeah. And then, so. Target on fire is true. Target HP. Oh my god. Some of this stuff is universal. Why don't I have like a universal section instead of duplicate code? I don't know. Okay, so any of these. Right. So stage less than 2, on fire true. Global active portal true. Active portal true. Wait a minute. Active portal true. That's not how that works anymore. Its global active portal does not equal no one. Hold on a second. That was it, just those two apparently. I guess I'll just drop the universal code in at the end here. Why does that not look right? Should be like that. Right? I don't know, man. Don't ask me. If instance exists, target. Because we could trigger this if it doesn't exist. Which is impossible, but we always have that failsafe there. Okay. So yeah, this is like the universal section of the code, and the universal stuff is action timer resets inside equals false. Action timer. Why would there be an action timer? Well, I guess there can be actually. We do use that. Okay. I'm just gonna grab those ones there. Well, I'm not sure if I'm always doing that everywhere. And then well, it's only the, what's the alpha? What the? Oh yeah, we don't actually change that position in that case. Gotcha. seems to be universal as well. Confusing the hell out of myself here. You know what? I'm just going to leave that. I'm going to put this part at the top because I feel like it will be less confusing. Find index. Sleep deprived units equals -1, then add them back onto that list. But only if they're sleep deprived, so that would be sleep multiplier equals 0.5. Right, so if the tent gets destroyed and a sleep deprived human is inside it, we're going to get them back on. If a tent gets destroyed and a sleep deprived human is sleeping inside of it, we're going to get them back on the list. And then we've got when the sleep timer resets, if they're on the list, we want to delete them from the list. Summon, yes, summon is included in there. Night equals true. Hunters, guards, sleep multiplier equals 1. Why does it look like that? Sleep multiplier equals 1, so they can actually wake up again. We do this, so they're no longer sleep deprived. Okay. So this will take care of that, I suppose. And these ones we need the attacking and defending stuff. We need, I don't actually like this being at the top. If a guard or a hunter wakes up to attack or defend. Shit. And they're still sleep deprived, we need to get them back on the sleep deprivation list. Sleep deprived humans list. I think that's everything, right? So They get added to the list when they become sleep deprived. They get removed from the list when they go to sleep. They get re-added to the list if the tent in which they are sleeping is destroyed and they're still sleep deprived. They get re-added to the list if they're woken up by the player is also another thing there. They get re-added to the list if they wake up because they need to defend or attack, and then getting removed from the list when they're no longer sleep deprived. See, they can only truly wake up if they're not sleep deprived anymore, or never were sleep deprived to begin with, and then we built that in over here, so when they're no longer sleep deprived here, because the timer resetting is kind of equivalent, right? Well, the sleep multiplier gets reset. Yeah. That one, okay, it's fine. It's just a bit, it's a little bit convoluted, but yeah. Because we count down when required sleep is less than or equal to the sleep timer resets to 0. And then this thing is just like, okay, well, wait a minute, sleep time greater than or equal to. Oh, I'm not sure about this now. What the fuck? Got you. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't. Okay. So once they've gotten all of the sleep that they needed, which is 24 hours now, then sleep timer is obviously not greater than or equal to 720, and then this triggers, and then they get removed from the list. So now we are keeping track of a list of sleep-deprived humans that are not currently sleeping. And this information can be used to determine whether people should shelter from the rain when there are some sleep-deprived humans. Because it would be something like, if, what was it? I had it before. It's like, if the amount of sleep-deprived humans is greater than or equal to the amount of free space in the tents, then you should not sleep in the tent. Not shelter from the rain. But they still, we could use the same information to prevent non-sleep deprived humans from sleeping when there are sleep deprived humans that need sleep, right, as well. Because we don't do that currently. We don't like prioritize letting the sleep deprived humans sleep. Everybody just tries to sleep. But with this information we can do both. We just need to figure out how much available tent space there actually is. Not just that there are available tents, but exactly how much space there is. I mean, we're constantly keeping track of, like, the nearest available tent, which means that we are scanning through all of the tents to figure that out. So it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to constantly keep track of how much available tent space there actually is as well. It's not something we constantly need to be checking. Oh, you raise a good point, actually. Do we disable the nearest tent tracker at some point? I mean, no. I'm going to say probably not, because the fuck is the nearest tent tracker? The fuck? Nearest hut. It's called nearest hut for one, and also we're not actually tracking that. Okay. Well, there you go. Didn't know that. We changed it recently, I guess, part of optimizing the code. So how do we actually figure that shit out now? We just run tracker hut update at the time that we're deciding to like go in a tent. See, I see. The thing that I'm trying to work out is how do we avoid constantly calculating or even how do we avoid calculating the amount of available tent space unless absolutely necessary? That's the thing. Otherwise I've got some bullshit in here that is like calculating that possibly for no reason, which is not efficient. There's a way to do it. Albeit a bit less efficient. It would kind of cause them to like hold off from entering the tents until all of the sleep deprived humans had gotten a space, then they would go. So it's a little bit less efficient. Especially considering the problem with that, because the sleep deprived human could be away from camp or something like that. In fact, that's kind of an issue in general here. I'm actually starting to lean towards, like, we just don't actually do this. We just don't do it. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we don't do this. Alright, well. Yeah, I don't think we do this, actually. Alright, well, at least I figured it out. I just had to get to this point in order to figure that out, but we can delete all that list stuff we just did. Or maybe just comment it out for now in case we do decide to bring it back. At least we've got it set up if we do decide we want to use it. What's wrong with this now? Unreachable code? Why? What is it? Oh, it was just, I think GameMaker was just bugged. Maybe. Anyway, I'm commenting it out. I'm gonna search for any reference to that and comment it out. Okay. Well, that one turned out to not be such a good idea after all. Prevent carpenters from sheltering when there is less firewood in the store than there are humans. Basically, we want carpenters not to shelter from the, to prioritize gathering firewood over sheltering from the rain until they have like a good amount of firewood stockpiled, basically. I'm pretty sure this basically means they would just like never shelter from the rain. Are we sure we want to do that? On the fence about that one. I'm gonna put a maybe on that, but I know that I want to change some of these power costs, so we're gonna do that. And that will be it. This build will be good to go then. Pretty exciting. So, oh, and also the splash sound effect. Why not? Why don't we do that when the humans drown? Let's see. State. No, wrong object. State extinguish. The fuck am I looking at, dude? What even is this? There it is. Okay, but what the hell is all this shit? It's the thing that makes it like it's the nearest water bearer extinguish burning humans. Is what it is. We could also do the particle effect because we're not doing that currently. Yeah, let's do that. Here we go. State conditions. State drowning. Particles. Literally, I think I can get away with just using the X and Y coordinates here. Still never figured out what this fall off distance is. Fall off ref relative to the listener clamp. What the fuck does that mean? I don't know. Probably do need to tweak it eventually so that you can hear the sound effects from a bit further away. Fall off max distance. I don't know, dude. But there we go. We should actually get the sound effects and particle effects when you drop them in the ocean or when they fall in the ocean now. Let's give it a go. Okay, well, there you go. That works. All right. Cross that one off the list. Prevent carpenters, blah, blah, blah. Right, so I just want to change the power cost of these miracles, but I just got to take a leak, so I'll be right back. Okay. It's easy to change the costs because I have a function that assigns them all, which is pretty nice. And I just actually need to update the UI. Well, I wouldn't need to update the UI if I used the cost, the global variables, so I should do that. Yeah, then I could just update it in one place. Wait, DI is only 50. Seems pretty insane. Really? Well, I guess so. $100. And then I was saying calm and storm 250. And these 500. And that is it. Nice. Okay. And yeah, if I update the UI stuff to actually just use those global variables, then I don't actually need to manually update it every time. Okay. Whoops, forgot to put the second plus in there. Well, I should really do this for all of them, not just the ones that I've changed, right? Well, here it says divine protection costs 100 power, but oh no, it was divine intervention. That said 50. Where even is that? Is that even on here? I don't even have divine intervention on this list. Huh. Don't seem to have a fur cost. Are you kidding me? So divine protection is just no, divine intervention is not on the list. Yeah, 100 is a good, like, it's easy to remember. Like, for some reason I think 50 is like hard to remember, like, oh, which ones cost 50? This is because like all of your base miracles, all of your basic miracles just cost 100. Although in Viz only costing 100 seems kind of crazy. I think it lasts like a minute. And they can still perform actions whilst invisible. Should be like 250, I think. It's one of the better ones. Yeah, and for some reason, divine intervention is not even on the list. Why is that? Really difficult to actually update this list. Because I am drawing it with a bunch of draw text functions, which is probably not how you're supposed to draw a UI. Divine protection is there, but I don't see divine intervention. Should be where invisibility is. And maybe fur should be where fire is. Well, then again, if it's 30 times 30 is 900. So it's kind of 900 if you max it out. Okay. Really hard to visualize it based on this. In place of invisibility. Jesus Christ, there's gotta be a better way. Before I do anything, can I like get this in an order that actually makes sense or something? Like the first column first. Mountain is obviously not in the first column, is it? Where is it? This is a ridiculous way of doing this. The horizontal position like that. Why am I doing that? I don't know. I can see a better way of doing it now though. So, and light. Fire. Water. Or should it be water then fire? Smite. Smite is a low cost one, right? It's 100. Smite. Forest, firewood, mushroom. For invisibility resurrection. That's all my low cost ones. No, no, no. Divine protection and divine intervention are also low cost. Not sure how many I'm supposed to have per row. I think it was 7. And then maybe if we do this and then move on to the next. Calm, storm. Invisibility, I made it 250, right? And we go on to forest and that stuff. Forest. Firewood. Mushroom. And then fountain and resurrection are the same. Probably do resurrection first. Although for some reason fountain resurrection sounds better. Okay, this might not be perfect, but we can take a look. And now I can also just update my power costs in my power cost script and have it automatically update on the UI as well, which is nice. Hey, nailed it first try there. That's pretty good. 0, 1, 100, 250, 500, 30 power per 2,500, 5,000. Nice. We are completely gonna run out of room. When I can add 4 more miracles before I run out of space, which is a whole extra level's worth of miracles, but yeah, we're gonna run out of room pretty soon. There was something I wanted to test, right? The human stealthing. Human stealth. Okay. Not really sure how I'm supposed to test this. But yeah, I guess when the humans are hunting, they can stealth right past the wolves. The stealthing mechanic seems to be more trouble than it's worth. I might just rip it out completely, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm guessing the way that it is right now is that the humans could just stealth right past the wolves. Sorry, the hunters. They're the only ones that can stealth. They could just stealth right past the wolves. But as soon as they come out of stealth or fail their stealth check, then the wolves would attack. I think that's kind of how it would... Oh shit, I forgot to disable that. It's a little bit tricky to kind of just test this easily. Hey, at least my UI stuff is a bit more manageable there. Although it will still need to be completely replaced eventually. Alright, I don't know, I'm fairly confident that I can release this build. I'm gonna need to do more playtesting, I suppose, but I think we should be good. I mean, the difference being, right, that the stealth was constantly being set to 0 in the idle state. But now it's not. But animals would, well, it's the prey animals. The thing is with the predators, I suppose. Honestly, don't even know how the hunters work right now. It's very confusing. Oh, maybe the waypoint. Does the waypoint? When does the waypoint get destroyed? No, the waypoint gets destroyed when they've all arrived. So I really don't get it. Oh, they're just going to be looping on that, I see. Gotcha. Okay, yeah. I get it. I get it. Alright, it's time I release this build. Ads are starting soon. Version 0.5.7.5 was 75% of the way to version 0.5.8. I was going backwards. What? We better not be going backwards here. Right, that seems pretty good. Let's push that to the repository and get this build released. Don't think I'm going to be able to raid anybody. Don't know if I even had any viewers this stream. Maybe it's a bad time to stream. Alright, version 0.5.7.5. Compiling now. go. Just gonna give it a test run. Oh shit, what happened? We didn't have any guards or hunters? Not enough, anyway. Well, alright. That is it. I am done for the day. Let's get this uploaded. And boom. The latest build is now available for Ko-fi members to download. Get that uploaded to Itch as well. Itch would probably be better than Google Drive anyway, but we're gonna be using Steam pretty soon here. Okay, that is it. Thanks for joining me. I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't think anybody's watching. So we can't raid anybody today. But I'll be back next week. To do some more pixel art. I think I'm gonna have to pivot back to a sprite and get the rest of the pixel art done, with the rest of the human sprites done. I might try and do a drum stream on the weekend, but it's probably going to be too hot to even like be inside, so probably too hot to play the drums. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Maybe you're watching the VOD. Hey, hello, person in the future. If you're watching the VOD right now, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.